Hey guys, thank you for coming back to my channel to view my video. This video is a little different from me. It's a topic that I not really too comfortable discussing. However, I felt like it should be discussed. In this video, I got three of my beautiful girlfriends to come together and discuss virginity and celibacy. It's a really taboo topic in the church, so I hope it really blesses someone. It blessed me, and I hope y'all enjoy. Also, if you want to be a part of the next video, please hit me up on my social media. If you have my number, please hit me up. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming back to my channel. Now, this is video 2, and the topic will be on virginity and abstinence. So I have a group of my beautiful girlfriends, and we're going to be having this very transparent conversation. Hopefully, it will help y'all and also help ourselves as well. So y'all ready? Alrighty. So first I want to start off with the scripture, which is 1 Thessalonians 4, 3, and 5. For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God. So first I would like for y'all to introduce yourselves and your age.
Hi, my name is Willie Grant, and I am 27.
Hi, my name is Lauren Wallace, and I'm 31.
Hello, I'm Faith, and I am 30. Well, I'm 29, but I'll be 30 next month. By the time 30.
Alrighty, y'all. So my first question is, what made you decide to abstain from sex? Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. My decision was made when I was 12. Long time ago, I went to a church called Antioch Baptist Church, and they had this program called True Love Waits. And so they would do the ceremony, and they would give you a ring, and they would say scriptures and all that stuff. So of course I'm 12, so I'm believing that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. But it wasn't until later on, as years go by, you go through things, God starts to reveal more things. So I think that's where it kind of was the foundation for me. So that's how it started for me.
Mine is pretty similar to Whitley. I was in Baltimore, Maryland at Greater Bethlehem Temple, and we had the ceremony. We went through a 6-month course, the True Love Wait course. I have the ring, and I wear it still today. And then after the 6-month course, we had a ceremony. I was dressed in white. My dad had on a tuxedo. It was a lot of, females, and we all walked down like it was a wedding, and to, give our bodies to God and wait.
I said I was going to wait until marriage is when I was 17 years old. And I grew up in church. My dad was a preacher. I mean, all that, church and everything. But I've always had it in me because there's still family members in my family that aren't waiting until marriage, and so it was always in me. But I remember 17, the same True Love Waits. I went through the True Love Waits course. I also, in school, I was in a abstinence until marriage group. That was a huge help. My parents really didn't talk to me about sex. It really was a lady by the name of Kimberly Banks who really just cultivated me wanting to wait until marriage. And then just later on in life, like you said, God starts to reveal to you why you're waiting. And so abstinence, I started waiting, but I really have kind of made it more like celibacy, because I think there's a difference between abstaining and celibacy. Celibacy is more spiritual. I think when you get older, you start to recognize that, but abstinence is more of a secular term, I think. And then celibacy, I don't want to keep going on and on and on. But it was about 17 years old when I was a senior when I made that commitment, like right before I went off to college, to wait until marriage.
Thank you, ladies. So my second question has to deal with dating. I know for me, I am a virgin as well, and dating has been extremely hard. Trying to find a man who will respect your decision to abstain from sex, and they say they respect it. But it's all just quote unquote pillow talk, yeah. Because at the end of the day, they really don't respect it, and they feel like they're gonna be like, yeah, well, you know, she says she a virgin now, but no, I really am, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So I just want to know, what have your experiences on dating been with abstaining from sex?
Whew, where do I start? No, you're right. For me, one of the things that I had to learn when I started dating was to just be honest. It took me a long time to be confident in being a virgin, being a black woman, you know, because come on, let's be real. Let's keep it real, right? We have talks with Mish. Let's keep it real. Like, we're like unicorns, you know, and when guys hear, oh, you a virgin, either I get, oh, okay, you know, that's good, you know, and we may pursue into the relationship, and then they say, oh, well, I'll wait with you. I've had that. I'll wait with you. And I'm like, okay, Lord, just keep revealing the truth, or I'll get them to run away, which at first I wasn't confident in. Man, you know, maybe this is not for me. And then I of course, being in the Word, just continuously keeping my body and my soul invested in His Word. But it was hard for me, because I'm like, okay, Lord, I ain't on the pole. You know, you got girls that's busting it open, and I'm over here just trying to do right. It's competition. So for me, it's either I get the I'll wait with you, or I'll get the running away. They'll be like, they won't call me no more or text me no more, or they just you the homie. So
I get sister zone all the time. So I'm everybody's sister.
Same here. My last official relationship was 10 years ago. It ended when I was 21. But I've been dating here and there since, especially the last 2 years. But I get the same thing. I'm the homegirl, which I hate. You're just... Your personality is just amazing, but you're the home, you know. So, but last year was the first time I had a guy who was not a virgin, and he was not down with the whole I want to be with a virgin, but he was like, I like you so much that I'm willing to wait. I have never had, and he stuck it out while we were dating and talking. He stood to his word. So dating is kind of rocky. We're not talking now, but still it's just rocky as a Christian, especially as you're 31. A 31-year-old virgin is very rare. So as soon as I'll tell a guy, you know, I'm waiting for marriage, it's like, pew, bye. So yeah, it's pretty hard dating as a virgin.
Dating is non-existent, pretty much. It's the same thing. It's the same story. And I hate saying plenty, but I really do. I have plenty of girlfriends that are virgins. I feel like we just hang with each other. We attract each other, around each other. And it's been non-existent. I really have never had a serious boyfriend. People ask me all the time, you're so beautiful. Why aren't you dating someone? And every potential date should be a potential mate. I don't believe in this casual dating, but I've been caught up in it. I've done it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've caught, especially as you get older, the pressure of it. At first, when I was young, around your age, Misha, when I was 24 and a little bit younger, I would tell guys that I was a virgin. They could never get over that. The topic always circled back to virginity and me being a virgin, and I was like, there is so much more to me than me being a virgin. It is like you said, it is like being a unicorn. So as I've gotten older, but now, of course, everyone's gonna know, but as I've gotten older, I really don't lead with that anymore. But if the topic comes up, which sex does come up, I do say, look, I am waiting until marriage, and this is why. And they're very intrigued by it. And then, of course, usually the questions start to pursue. And I'm very open, and I say, yes, I am a virgin. And so dating, it's hard, especially when you're doing a commitment like this. You really have to wait on God. It's one of those things. It's hard, though. We have flesh, and so we see our friends dating and hooking up and doing things, and they're Christians. So we start to think, well, I'm gonna do the same thing, but then it's pretty much non-existent.
You kind of led into my my next question, which is, when do you think is the appropriate time to tell someone you're abstaining from sex or you're celibate? I like when you explain celibacy and abstinence. So when do you think is the appropriate time to let them know, like, hey, you ain't feeling good enough?
Oh, I can go back. So when is the appropriate time? I believe that it's kind of like individualized, how comfortable you feel. Some girls are straight up, this is what I'm waiting until marriage. I do wait a little bit longer because I kind of want to know their intentions, because usually you are a prize no matter what. They're like, I'm gonna stay around for this because this is intriguing, because you're different, and men like that. They're like, this is different, so they want to kind of test you. So I think it depends, but I do always feel you should always be upfront and honest, and not really just focus on I'm a virgin, but explain to them I'm a virgin and these are my boundaries. You know, because and I'm at fault for it too. You start to go over your boundaries, you start getting into tricky areas, and so I don't want that. I've learned from the last two dating relationships that I was in, that is not the way to go. So I just think being straight up front with them, but I think it just depends on who you are and how comfortable you are expressing it to that person.
I think she's right. It depends on both of you. I mean, how the relationship is going, but initially when I would start talking to guys, it would be right then and there. And so I'm like, why is it not working? Why is it not lasting? And so many of my friends were like, just hold off with the, telling that you're a virgin and you're waiting for marriage. So it helped to stay a little bit longer, but guys, they not really trying to wait in this time and day. So
And I'm kind of at fault at that, because in the past I have said it, like in my first meeting, like I'm a virgin, and people have told me you shouldn't have said that. But my thing is, I want to put everything up front because I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time.
That's a good point. For me, at first, like I said, I wasn't really confident with it. Like because everybody was doing it. So when I was dating, I would just kind of like weigh it out, see how he was, see how the conversation went. I would kind of like avoid it, because like I said, I wasn't confident. I didn't want him to, switch it up on me. I was scared of his reaction. So, but like I said, as I got older, like Faith said, you do have to be upfront. Nowadays, like, guys want to know, that's what they're thinking of. Let's just be real. They're thinking of it, maybe not all guys, but in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, I'm going to pursue her because, like you said, we are the prize. They're the hunter. So they're hunting for us, but then in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, I'm visualizing her, sexually, so I think like Faith said, we have to be able to kind of, feel them out, like see how the conversation goes. And most of the time I'm just upfront. Most of the time the first conversation, it may come out or maybe later on, so it just depends.
That's good. Okay, for my second question, I'm first going to read the definition that I found on what a virgin is. It says, a person who has never had sexual intercourse. So my question is there a difference between being a virgin and being pure? Now,
Come on now.
I feel like and I'm going to be very transparent. I have not always been saved. I have made poor decisions in the past where I have compromised my virginity. I've never had intercourse, but I've taken it too far. And so no, I am not pure. Sorry, Mom. But I've never had intercourse, and I am a virgin. And now that I am saved, I'm very adamant about being a virgin, like no, nothing. So I want to hear from you ladies. Do you think it's a difference between being a virgin and being pure? Anyone can go first. Okay.
And I'm glad you're transparent, because when I started walking this out, saying I was going to wait until marriage, I hung on being a virgin. Like, it was tatted on my forehead. Like, everywhere I went. And I never really thought about purity because I thought it was synonymous. I really did. But when you start to really think about it, it isn't. Just because you're a virgin does not mean that you're pure. And I will be very honest that I have been a virgin. There have been times I have not been pure, that I have fallen off and done things. And no, I didn't take it all the way to sexual intercourse, but I compromised my boundaries because I was like, well, I really, really like this dude and I want to, even if it's just French kissing, or because people are like, well, what is crossing your boundaries? It could be French kissing, it could be going over to Netflix and chill, but the chill doesn't happen. Like, there's just so many different things that that happens, and knowing, so yes, there is a difference. I feel like there are people that are physically not virgins and are pure, like they are truly pure and living out this life, and I admire them. And I think it also as a virgin or someone that has never gone there, if you are with someone, you have to be careful with their boundaries, because your boundaries might be, well, I stop at making out, but their boundary is like, I stop at a peck, at a kiss. You have to respect that because they've been there before and they know where it leads to. So there's definitely a difference between the two. Definitely.
I agree as well. because I'm the same way. I've gone far, but I've never had sexual intercourse. And so I do believe I'm a virgin, because there's some people that say, oh, you're not a virgin because you've done other things. I truly believe that I am still a virgin. But there's definitely a big difference. I am, well, for instance, my last kiss was 10 years ago. And it's only been with one guy, my first love, that I've done anything with. So, yeah, I do believe it's a difference, but yeah. And it's hard.
And I'm glad you said that. It's so hard. And it is hard. Growing up in the Church of God in Christ, all I heard was, do not have sex. Do not have sex. So okay, I won't. So they never said, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
So once I started like really getting these urges, and I'm just going to be honest, we're sexual beings, we're humans, so we're going to have those urges. I was like, Lord, is there something wrong with me? Because I'm having these urges, but I'm trying to abstain.
No, nobody never talks about it. Your girlfriends or people in the church, they just keep it on the hush hush. So it was hard when I was having these urges at, mid-20s, late 20s now. And I'm just, girl, I'm just like, people need to talk about it because we're all going through this, whether you're a virgin or not. And, I grew up Kojic as well. It was planted in my head that you save yourself for marriage. And it still is, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Just add to what Lauren was saying. I agree with you. Like, you do have urges, especially when you're dating somebody and you're attracted to them. It is very, very hard. The church doesn't talk about it because they don't kind of lay out how you're supposed to deal with it. They say, oh, we'll just avoid it. Okay, but if I'm feeling some sensation in the midst of, come on now. And another thing for me, why it's been such a challenge, when I was dating, it was a challenge. It was more so a challenge then. But now that I'm not really dating, I'm going to be honest, I don't really have a lot of those urges because I have been refocusing myself on what God wants me to do and bettering my life, like completely, like taking out toxic friendships, taking out, unnecessary relationships with dudes. If you ain't talking about it, I ain't trying to entertain it. So it's kind of like, if I've never had sex, I can't expect something that I never had. So, that's a challenge for me because a lot of people are like, well, what you mean you don't have no urges? What you mean you don't feel like? Because I've never had it. Like, I've never had the sensation of wanting to have sex with somebody like right now or how it feels. But I have in the past when I have dated, I had a little sensation. But other than that, now I don't get it as like, I'm like, okay, do I got, ovaries? So,
And you kind of already answered my next question. It was going to be, has the church done a good job preaching purity? At least with the church I grew up with, I've never really was taught purity. I was just taught, don't have sex until you're married. So do you think the church is doing a good job of teaching purity?
I will say I had to really think about that, because I think the church needs to talk about it more. New Creation, I know Pastor C talked about it, about the virgins and the lamps and the oil. She did touch on that, and it really brought it made my heart smile, because I was like, finally, girl, I've been like, this is what I've been. Yes, but I think it needs to be talked about more. So I won't say they're not doing a good job, but they could definitely do better.
The one bone I have to pick about modern day church is they do talk about waiting until marriage. They don't really talk about practical steps to it, or talking about the difference between dating and courting. There is a difference, because people are, and I am guilty of this, we Christians are trying to date like the world and try to get God results with waiting until marriage. And that's the problem. But the church is being mute. They are being silent. So I am encouraging the church to step it up, because the world is like, they're defeating us. They are getting our young girls and our young boys. And I say that because there's always a girl component. They always focus on the woman needs to be pure. The woman needs to be this and this and that. But the men, it's a different standard. I have a real big bone with the church and this double standard between the man and the woman. The men are not really, it's not really stressed and encouraged to them. I feel like that they should wait. It's just kind of like, well, you need to wait. But with women, I mean, it's like ingrained in us. So if you're not really teaching the men how to wait on us, who are we waiting for? So then we start to look outside the church, because we're like, well, where is he? And so, and then you get, right. And then you get, and this is the thing I think also is, we're older virgins, and, being almost about to be 30. I love saying I'm about to be 30. Am I about to be 30? Okay, but right. So I feel like we are women, black women in the church are, it's like longer and longer. And there's so many, I know women that are 40 and a virgin and they're waiting, but there aren't any men. There's not mates. There's not enough. And so that's why we're getting more and more women that are waiting, and they're single and they're not. I mean, it's not intended for God for us to be a virgin forever. He wants us to have sex and multiply. And so I think the church is really big about no. And they really need to talk about sex is great. Sex is good in the confines of marriage. So.
And I like how you touched on about teaching the men how to be pure as well, because like we were speaking about earlier before the discussion was taped about Devon Franklin, how he waited 10 years, and for the man to be the head, once he sets those standards that we are not having sex, I think is more efficient rather than the woman, because let's be honest, if a man's not about that life, he can have that smooth, if you're not strong enough in your faith, he can have that smooth talk and it can really go down. But if the man says like, no, we're waiting, we're abstaining, I think it's more efficient. That's just my opinion. Cameraman, can you speak a little bit? Can you come over here just a little bit? So this is our cameraman. This is our cameraman, Austin. He's 24 years old, and he is come on. Come on. And he is abstaining from sex as well. And I really wanted a man's point of view, because we never have the men. We have so many women and we never have the men. So there you go.
What was the question again? What was the question?
Is the church doing a good job for teaching purity?
I think it was just like what you said, where they do it. I think they do it in passing. So like, be holy because God is holy, and then, but we don't really dig into the practical steps of it. So we're not telling our teens, these are the things that you need to do if you want to be pure, if you want to be holy, because the word of God says you need to be holy. These are the things that you need to do at school. As far as partying, these are the things that you need to do. These are things you need not to do. So, like you said, we're doing it. We could just do a way better job.
Thank you, cameraman. My next question is, what has helped you maintain your purity or abstinence?
I will just be very honest. My number, of course, is God. You know, I really, when I was in the schools when I was really young, from 19 to about 22 years old, like all of my college years, I stayed at home for college. I was in the schools teaching abstinence until marriage, the secular part of it. But I've always felt there was a missing piece, and I really do think the missing piece is because a lot of the children that I talked with I know are having sex now. It really is a commitment to Christ, that and to the Master, and living this life out, and basically sacrificing, you know, delay of self-gratification.
I have an elder in the church who I go to when times are hard. I'm here. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. And, you know, you have to surround yourself with those friends, those positive friends. But I really don't want to let my dad down, because he's instilled that in me. But on the other hand of it, you know, sorry, Dad, but he's always, I'm 31, so he's always like, Lauren, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? You know, I want grandkids and stuff. And so it's like, it's the pressure's real. The pressure is real. So, but yes, God, Dad, friends, you know, that's what's keeping me in this world now, today, where sex is everywhere, on TV, in front of your face, everywhere. It's hard. So it's just keeping me, the friends, family, and God.
I agree with both of you. My family, we don't really talk about purity or sex or anything like that, but because I know their standard, I never want to disappoint them. And also because of the commitment I made to God, that really, really keeps me. I don't want to upset him because I love him so much. But another thing that helps me maintain my abstinence is the things that I watch and things I listen to. With the y'all, you know what kind of movies I like. I like 90s hood flicks. Period. Like in African, they're called Nollywoods, okay? But and with those 90s flicks, you know, like Poetic Justice, Boys in the Hoods, there's sex scenes, and it's like real sex scenes. So I have to kind of watch what I'm doing. Am I perfect? No. Even with the music I listen to, I love R&B music. I love music. But with that, like, R. Kelly does nothing for me. I love his music, but he doesn't take me there. Jodeci, don't take me there. But that Pretty Ricky album, that Blue Star album, I can't listen to because my mind just goes left. I'm like, because they get really very explicit. So I try to watch the things I listen to and what I view on TV as well. But I'm not perfect, so I'm working.
I hear you. I agree with you guys. Definitely, guys. Number one, my family, my mom is like Sister Soldier. Okay. Shout out to DG. But no, I mean, like I said, you know, I'm in a sorority, so I was most of my college years at Texas State was partying and doing programs and being around a lot of women, and I never felt pressured, but it's like I said, it's a challenge. A lot of everybody's having sex around me, and like she said, you do have to surround yourself around positive people because you'll start to doubt yourself. You'll definitely start to doubt yourself. And another reason why I've been able to hold off is because my mom showed me the birds and the bees when I was young, and she showed me an illustration, and I said, I'm gonna keep it real. I was like, it hurts. I look like it hurts, and it just scared me. So, you know, my God is number one. Just trying to keep that relationship with Him and keeping my soul fulfilled with that. My mom, my sister, my background, they're like my rock. So that's what helped me too.
And just what Whitley was just saying, I was like, oh, I just realized one of the main things while we're waiting, and I could say it for all of us, is our future husband. Like, for him, like the reason for you, it is like, it basically is saying that I waited for you before I even knew you. Like, I thought enough of you. Like, I want to look at my husband's face and just tell him that I saved myself for you. And so I think that is like the biggest thing, or even if men are waiting for their wife, you know, your future mate, because you want to go into a marriage healthy. And that's why marriages are just failing nowadays. So I was going to say that was like, oh, the number, you know, one of the main things is because, you know, for our future mate that we one day will get married to.
Right. I agree. It was just the same thing. I just want to give 100% of me to my husband. On that night, I want him to take, in the ceremony when I was 17.
Yeah.
When I was 17, it was said in the ceremony, keep this ring until you get married and place it on your husband's finger. And so I want to do that. I want to get married, and on my wedding night, I want to give this ring to him saying, I waited for you, and I want to give you 100% of me. Yes, I've slipped up, 10 years ago with other things, but as far as intercourse, I've waited for you, and I'm trying my best, so 100%.
And I just want to say, just being amongst you women who are also waiting is so encouraging for me. In the past, I've heard countless times that no one would ever want to date me or be with me because of my decision to be a virgin. So I really thank God for this discussion and to be amongst you ladies as well. So that's helping me. I'm sad, but I have one more question. Yeah, I'm sorry. My last question is, what will be some good advice for teens and young adults wanting to abstain from sex?
Oh, sorry. I had to think. I mean, it's so much. I'm trying to think of the young Whitley and what I would have wanted somebody to tell me. I mean, really take it seriously. Like, don't do it Don't do it because somebody else is doing it. When I took the True Love Waits ceremony, literally, I'm not gonna lie, there were people who right after that they lost their virginity. That right there kept me like, okay, all right, this is serious. Like, I really need to focus. I really need to take this vow. It's a vow. It's a vow, and I fear God to the max. And I that's number one thing. Keep your focus. Don't let other people distract you. I mean, even though it will happen, keep your focus. Like Faith says, surround yourself around positive people. Ignore naysayers. So what? I'm a virgin. What you gonna do? And I'm fine. Have confidence.
People feel like older virgins must be ugly and don't nobody want us. No, there's beautiful virgins.
Have confidence. I didn't have confidence at the beginning. It was until last year I started really opening up about it. Like, I'm 27. Come on now. So have confidence, surround yourself around positive people, and stay focused. Let God be that number one source that you go to, that you call to when you're feeling weak, when you're like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. He will direct you. So that's what I would say.
I'll just say something small. Everything that she said, but also I just want to focus on insecurities and confidence. If you know who you are as a person, and you respect yourself, and you have morals and you have values, and you know whose you are, even if you're not even in the church or religious, just know that you need to respect yourself, respect your body, and not just give it to any and everybody. I mean, gain confidence in who you are. That's, if I was like what she said, if I was 17 again and if somebody needed to talk to me, it would be insecurities and gaining confidence and knowing who you are.
I feel if I was to talk to a young teen girl and even a young teen guy, the number one thing and what helped me is having a mentor. But you have two. You have a good friend of yours that's your age. Y'all are the accountability partners, and you tell each other everything. Like, you are like, this is what I'm struggling with, and really hold each other accountable. Typically, that person needs to have a stronger will than you. Like, they need to, maybe they've been, made the commitment longer, or they have a really good support system. And then also a older mentor, someone that is walking it out or has walked it out and can really talk to you, and you can be transparent. I think sometimes if you say, being honest honest with your parents. It's difficult. I mean, to this day, I don't talk to my dad and mom about. It's like they're older, they old school. They don't believe in telling your business. They just be like, okay, I know you're waiting, but don't tell me nothing else. And I'm like, okay. And then I respect that. So I really do think it really is about the mentor who has that relationship with Christ, who can really pray you through, who can talk to you, who can give you scriptures, who can even, and I love what Lauren had to say, even if you aren't per se religious or a Christian right now, respect your body. It's your body. It's not anyone else's. And even if you have been violated, I always had to talk to girls or guys that have been molested or raped. That wasn't sex. That was abuse. That is not what God intended. And that doesn't mean that now anyone can just have me. So it's just really, really get you some people, like horizontal relationship, get you somebody. You cannot walk this out on your own. You just cannot. And then what happens is when you start surrounding yourself, I feel like people, you start attracting it. Like, I mean, a lot of my really close friends are virgins. And so people are like, how? Like, and I'm like, I think it's really who you surround yourself with. You just, like, people attract, each other. So
with that being the last questions, is there anything else y'all would like to share or talk about before we end? Willie girl.
I mean, I just want to say this is refreshing for me, like she said, I don't really have a lot of friends that are virgins, and I wish I did have that. Not to say that the friends I do have are bad people, but it's a good thing. It's a reassuring thing. This right here, I want to just like pat Jamisha on the back, because bringing up this conversation, it needs to be had. Austin, testifying on his experience, like this needs to be a conversation that we need to continue. And I salute you, girl. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna. Oh
Thank
my
the girls and the guys.
Yes. And Whitley, that's the key. It is a continuing conversation. You don't have one talk, especially parents. You don't have one talk with your child, and that's it. It is continual. You keep talking to them, and really, it's not just about just sex, but just goal setting and focusing.
So glad y'all did this. This was amazing. And I really hope that we said something that would touch y'all's heart. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this, and share, like, comment, and I love y'all all. Until next time, bye.
Thank you so much for viewing my video. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all got some nuggets in there. Also with this video, even though we were being transparent, I feel like we kind of scratched the surface on this one. So I am thinking about doing a part 2 to get more in depth. So I am looking for anyone who would love to be a part of part 2. I mean, if you are currently celibate, I would love to have you. If you are abstinent, I would love to have you. If you have tried celibacy and it did not work for you, I would love to have you. If you don't believe in celibacy or abstinence, I would love to have you. So if you would like to be part of that video, please hit me up on my social media. I would greatly appreciate it. That's all until next time. Bye.
No rigging, no dingy.